Hi love, welcome back. In today's class we are making this colorful shell mini dress. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much my love. Thank you darling for always coming back. This dress fits a size medium, however I'll walk you through so you would get your perfect fit. Let's get right into class. I'm going to be using 12 balls of acrylic yarn in these 3 colors, and also a 4mm hook, your tape measure, stitch marker, your scissors, and yeah, you can also decide to make it in one color or more colors. Let's get right into class. So to begin with, you are going to make your slip knot, and this is how I make my slip knot. And I'm going to chain 58 for the foundation chain. If you are making for a size small, consider chaining 54, and if you are making for a size large, consider chaining add 4. So 58 plus 4, that will be 62. So I'll chain my 58 and I'll get back to you when I'm done with my 58 chains. Row 1 is a half double crochet row, so you are going to skip 3 and prepare for a half double crochet. Skip 3, and in your 4th stitch you are going to make a half double crochet and pull through all 3. And this half double crochet is a half double crochet V stitch. It counts as a half double crochet V stitch. Now you are going to chain to continue your row. You are going to chain 1 and 2, and you are going to make a half double crochet V stitch again in the same space. So make half double crochet, chain 1 and a half double crochet inside the same stitch, and you have a cluster or a shell. So to continue your row, you are going to skip 2 and make a half double crochet V stitch. Half double crochet V stitch is half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet inside the same space. Skip 2 and work half double crochet V stitch in your 3rd stitch, and this is the pattern for row 1. So you're going to skip 2, work half double crochet V stitch in the following stitch, skip 2 until the end of the row. We are going to make half double crochet cluster again at the end of the row. So chain 2 and make half double crochet V stitch in the same space. So you should have something like this. So that's your half double crochet V stitch inside the last stitch. Now you're going to chain 2 again and make inside the same space, you're going to make half double crochet V stitch. So it's going to be a double half double crochet V stitch. Now you are going to continue making your half double crochet V stitch until the beginning of the row, and when you are here, you are going to make your last half double crochet V stitch in the same stitch where you started from, so that the beginning would also be a cluster. And after that, you are going to slip stitch or you make a single crochet. So you should have something like this. For row 2, I'm going to change my yarn to the next color, and this is the cluster. So you see we have 2 here, and the same thing is happening. Whatever that is happening at the last part is the same exact thing we are doing at the front. So now we are going to just the immediate half double crochet V stitch, your chain 1 space, you are going to go in with 7 double crochets, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So go in with 7 double crochets, and inside the chain 2 space, after your 7 double crochet, inside the chain 2 you are going to make a single crochet. That chain 2 space, the cluster chain 2 space, you are going to make a single crochet, and inside the next V stitch you are going to make 7 half double crochets, 7 double crochets. So this is the pattern for row 2. Row 2 is going to be 7 double crochet inside your V stitch, and your single crochet inside the next V stitch, 7 double crochet inside the following V stitch, you make your single crochet inside the next V stitch until you get to the end where your other cluster is, and I'll show you what to do. So you are where the cluster is, so you make your 7 double crochet, you are going to make a single crochet in the chain 2 space, go inside the next V stitch with 7 double crochets, make a single crochet in the next V stitch, chain 2 space, and make your 7 double crochet in the next V stitch, and moving on is going to be 7 double crochet in the V stitch, a single crochet in the next V stitch like you did for the other side. So you're going to build like that until you are at the top of your work. Don't worry, when your work is forming, is turning, it's going to be straight. Let's complete the row. So work up until the beginning of your work, and I'll meet you there. So at the top of your work, after your 7 double crochets, you are going to slip stitch or you single crochet. And this is the end of row 2, and your work should be looking like this. So we have your shell and your shell cluster and your shells. So you should have this, and I'm going to change to my next color. And chain 4 counts as a double crochet and chain 1, and inside the same space you are going to make a double crochet. So put double crochet inside the same space. We would complete this double crochet when we are at the side, the beginning side. Now chain 5, so we are going to complete when we work our rows. So the corners, these are the corners, and it's supposed to be cluster. So inside your next single crochet, that is a corner, so you are going to make double crochet V stitch. So you make your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet again, chain 2, and make your V stitch again. So this is a corner, so anytime we are at a corner, and it will be 4 corners, so all the corners would have double crochet V stitch cluster. So moving on, we are going to chain 5 and cross over your previous shell and make your double crochet V stitch, not a cluster, because this is not a corner. So keep making your 5 double crochet and double crochet cluster until you are at the 3rd corner. So this is your 3rd corner and your 4th. So at your 3rd corner, you are going to make double crochet V stitch cluster, make your V stitch, chain 2, and make the same in this space. Chain 5 and work your V stitch cluster again. Chain 2 and make a V stitch again, double crochet V stitch in the same space. So moving on, you are going to just make your chain 5 and V stitch until you get to the beginning, and we would make our we will finish our cluster there, or our corner. So at this spot, you are going to make a double crochet V stitch to complete this row. So chain 1 and make your double crochet again. So this will be 2 double crochets because initially we made 1 and we have added the 2nd one, and you are going to chain 2 and slip stitch on the top. And that's it for row 3. So for row 4, you're going to chain 1 and make a single crochet in the same space, and inside the V stitch, your first V stitch, you are going to make a shell. A shell is 7 double crochet. So make a shell, and always remember we start every row with an incomplete corner and we finish it off complete. So you are going to count 4 and make a single crochet in your previous shell, and you are going to make a shell again in your V stitch. So you should have something like this, and you are going to work your shell, a single crochet, work your single crochet and make your shell again. So this is the corner. A corner is a shell, single crochet in the chain 2 space, and a shell. And to continue, you are going to count 4 and place a single crochet in your previous shell across the chain 5 space to hold the chain, and you are going to keep making a shell and a single crochet across the chain 5 space from your previous row until the end of the row, until we get to the other corner, and I'll again walk you through how to do the corners. So at the corners, again, you are going to make a shell, a single crochet, and a shell. And you are going to repeat this all the way up until the beginning, and for us to complete our first corner. So keep working your shell, single crochet across, a shell, single crochet, and the corners would be a shell, single crochet in the chain 2 space, and a shell. And keep working your normal until the beginning of the row. At the beginning of the row, you are going to make a shell, and you make your slip stitch or single crochet to connect it. And this will be our repeat row. So this is a corner. Wherever you see a corner, you are going to place a corner. That's double crochet, chain 2, and your double crochet, V stitch, chain 2, and V stitch, and the normal would be the same. So here would be our repeat row of chaining 4 and making your first V stitch, and chaining 5 and making your V stitch inside the single crochet space, chain 5 and make a corner, and again a corner is a cluster of V stitch, chain 2, and a V stitch. And a V stitch is double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. And to make a corner, you would make a V stitch, chain 2, and a V stitch, and we are working double crochet rows. So keep working around, and I'll meet you and we'll complete our beginning corner. So at the corners, make sure you put a corner cluster, V stitch cluster, and keep working your normal rows, and I'll meet you at the beginning. So the beginning, you are just going to make your V stitch, double crochet, and chain 2 and connect your work with either slip stitch or single crochet. So we are going to be alternating between this row and the shell row until you have your desired length. So I'm going to change to my coffee color again, and to begin your shell row, you are going to chain 1 and make a single crochet inside the same space or the chain 2 space if it's confusing. And you are going to work a shell in the very beginning, the very first V stitch. You are going to make a shell. And inside the chain 5 space, you are going to make a single crochet inside the 4th shell on your previous row. So you're going to make a single crochet across from the fourth shell, the first stitch, and keep working this, and I'll meet you when I'm done going around or making my corners, because this is literally a repeat row. So you're going to go around, and when you are at the end of your work, don't forget to always put your last corner. Don't forget to always put your last corner, and keep working shell rows and chain 5 rows. If you don't understand anything, you can pause and play back and take it slow and keep working until, so this dress is going to be in 2 panels, the front and the back, and it's literally going to be the same thing. So you're going to be increasing. So the more you go, the more you see your work will start enlarging, it will start becoming big. So keep working your rows, and I'll meet you when I have my desired length. So keep working, and I'll meet you when I have my complete rows. If you've made it up to this point and you haven't subscribed to the channel, my love, my darling, please do subscribe and like and share our videos. And if you're a returning subscriber and you've made it up to here, my baby, thank you so much. Okay, so this is the front panel, and I made 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I'm only counting the shells. I'm not counting the chain 5, the connecting rows. So you're going to make the same thing for the back, and this is the back panel. I just decided to go extra 1 for the back. So this is how the work is looking like. And with the extra 1, what I did was, when I got to this point, the other ending of the point, instead of me to make shells, I made a single crochet to cross over. Now you are going to measure 8 inches for your neckline and put your stitch markers. If you are large, you can measure 8.5 or 9. The neck hole is honestly individual preference, so I'm going to go with 8 inches, and this is what you should be having. And now we are going to be connecting the shoulder parts, and we will start with a single crochet. After that, you are going to chain 5, and inside the single crochet you are going to make a double crochet, and make a double crochet inside the opposite single crochet, the front panel. Chain 5, make a double crochet inside the single crochet space, and make a double crochet again inside the, so it's going to be double crochet in the front panel, double crochet in the back panel, chain 5, double crochet in the front panel, double crochet in the back panel. You should have something like this, and that is it. So you're going to chain 1 or 2, cut and fasten your yarn, and turn your work and repeat the same exact thing for the other part of the shoulder. So you are going to connect with a single crochet and repeat the same exact thing. Now to the armhole, I'm going to measure 10 inches and put your stitch marker. Again, the armhole is individual preference again. So I've already made one side of the arm and it's a bit puff. I'm going to walk you through how to make the other side, and we'll finish up the work. Now to make the armhole, you're going to connect your yarn. You're going to connect it at one side of your work, and chain 3. After you chain 3, you are going to slip stitch in the other side, on the other side of your work. And that is it. Now you are going to chain 3 or 4, and you are going to make a double crochet in the same space. Chain 5, just as we were doing for the body of the work. Make a V-stitch in the single crochet space, a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 5, V-stitch, double crochet, until you get to where we connected both sides, and we are going to work an increase. That's a cluster. So we are going to work an increase row here to get our puff. So we are going to make our first cluster, double crochet cluster. So make your V-stitch, chain 2, and make your V-stitch in the same space. Now to continue our work, we are going to chain 5 and make our double crochet V-stitch until we get to the beginning of the work. So at the beginning of the work, you are going to make your last V-stitch just at where you connected, at the point where you connected your yarn. Now chain 2, and you are going to attach this inside the second space of your work, the second stitch. So if you made a chain 3, you are going to make a slip stitch on the third stitch. And now you are going to make your single crochet in the same space, that's the chain 2 space, and work your shell in your first V-stitch. You're going to work shell and a single crochet across the chain 5 space, just as we're doing for the body of the work. Nothing has changed. So go around with your shell, single crochet, shell, single crochet, and when you get to your cluster, you are going to make your shell, single crochet inside the chain 2 space. You make a shell again and go around until the beginning points, the beginning part of the work. Please leave me a heart sign under the comment section. I'll be so grateful. And keep watching our videos, keep liking and keep sharing. This is the little you can do to support us. So at the end of the row, you're going to make slip stitch, and this is what you should be having. Now the next row, you're going to make you're going to chain 3 or 4 and make a double crochet in the same space, chain 5. So this is going to be your chain 5 and V-stitch in the single crochet space, chain 5, V-stitch, chain 5, V-stitch, and when you get to your cluster, you are going to make on top of your cluster or in between your cluster shell, you are going to make another cluster shell. That's V-stitch, chain 2, and V-stitch. Cluster V-stitch, sorry. And you are going to go around until the end of the row. Now at the end of the row, you are going to make your last 2 double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. That makes your V-stitch, and connect your work. Now for your next shell row, you are going to go around and make your shell until the end of the row. So make your shell and single crochet, make your shell, single crochet. So keep working until the end of the row. And that is the end of the row. I'm connecting the brown, which is the last. And now you're going to chain 4, and this is your V-stitch row. At this point, we are not going to increase again around the armpit. So that's the starting area, but we are going to increase around the shoulder part to get that puffy look. So make your V-stitch and just a stitch before your cluster, or a stitch before your V-stitch cluster. We are going to make our V-stitch cluster there, not on top of the cluster, but then just the stitch before the cluster. Make your V-stitch cluster or corner, and where we were doing our V-stitch cluster, you are going to put a normal V-stitch, and the next stitch, the stitch after your cluster, we are going to put a cluster again, and we are going to work up until the end of the row. And at the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch. Now for this row, you are going to work your shells, and this is the last row for increase. After this row, after you've worked your shell, the next rows is just going to be normal V-stitch row, normal V-stitch chain 5, normal V-stitch chain 5 across the arm until your desired length. If you want the arm to be longer, just make more rows, and it's going to give a very fine look. And if you want it a short sleeve, as I did, also you can just work your rows. So the brown rows, I'm going to make 5 of them, and you are done with your work. After you are done going round, I went around 5 times with the brown yarn. In total, the shells are 7 or 8. You can decide to just make 7 or 8. And cut, fasten all loose ends, and your top is 99% ready. So let's just make the other 1%. Make sure you cut and fasten all your yarn, and this is how it should be looking like. You can go more rows, as I said, and make sure you cut and fasten it and leave your work neat, and turn to whichever side you want to be your right side or wrong side. So just make sure your work is neat and clean. And let's do the last 1% remaining. So with the last 1% remaining, I'm going to make a chain combining all the colors, 2 of each, and I'm going to make a long chain. So this is 2 of each color, 2 strands, and make a long chain. You're going to make 2 of these chains, and we are going to lace it up at the size of our top. So at the size of the top, you are just going to lace it up, and that is it. You are done, my darling. Until we meet next week, my love, my babies, my darlings, my sweethearts, my everything and everything and everything. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and always watch out for the space. And bye-bye.